Hey there, and good evening. This is Calvin Baker with another playthrough of a game by Will Rahman, author of Forbidden Psalms or Psalm. The Hope is for the Dead. It's now up on Kickstarter, hoping to complete in about 15, 16 days. And I backed one of his other Kickstarter. I jumped on the Forbidden Psalm train a little bit late and ordered it from one of the online stores, not Amazon. I think it was Space Penguin Inc. And this I ended up playing before that because I had the minis, I had some scenery for it, and I just decided to play. I haven't played it for a little while because I was waiting for some things to come in. They got here, and so I will be doing a playthrough of it. I hope soon. It's not one of my standard things. I'm not really set up to do it. I have 3 littles, and the challenge of dealing with them and their excitement at minis, well, I don't know. Hopefully it makes sense. It may not. It's a beautifully laid out book, or this is a playtest version, but it's still sort of a book. Um, it is the same basic idea, but there's a lot of mechanical differences. You create a haven of 25 people. You don't have to create all 25 at once. You choose 5 people. Um, I rolled everyone's names, and I'll give you an overview of that in a few minutes, I think. Then you give them stats, roll of flaw and feat, background, and random gear each crew member starts with. And if someone dies, you start all over again. Here's the name list. It is a brilliant, fun little game. And can you get this? I don't know if it's still up on his Patreon or not. He may have taken it down for the Kickstarter. But it just gave me so much fun. Got 6 plays in it, and then I stopped because I wasn't able to log them on Board Game Geek. I'm one of those geeks that likes to keep track of stuff. The backgrounds is something that's different in this, and it adds another dimension of playing. And some of them are stuff like, let's just roll a couple. Stuff like 37. I did this earlier. This is the second, or actually third, for DJ. You don't gain anything. 80. Socialite. Gain flaw, tacky ringtone, which you can imagine the noise being generated. The zombies will immediately see you or want to see you. And 12. Zookeeper. +1 when attacking infected animals. Yes, there are animals that have been infected with a virus, and they will be out to convert you into a zombie, just like the zombified people. Has different flaws, different feats, weapons and equipment. When you recruit a character, you get 1 each of weapon, armor, and item. And from that's in addition to what you would have gotten with your background. It is on a simple D20 system. Weapon damage is against hit points. There are modifiers and events that can change your modifier rolls. I'll be covering a little bit in that. During the course of the game, you'll be given the chance to upgrade your weapons and armor, and this is through stuff you created through your haven or your base. You don't have at least in the playtest, you don't have a map of your base, but I think he's working on a situation or a scenario where you may get a attack on your base. It can be played as being a zombie game. It's not a versus. Um, 5 players against, or 5 you versus a opponent, where you control the survivors and the other person controls survivors, and the zombies are AI. It is more of a you control 5 members of the Haven, and your buddy controls another 5 members against the zombie AI. I imagine it could probably be played against each other, be more of a challenge, I think, and eventually at some point, probably early on, 5 games, 6 games in, you'll start seeing a situation where one player is going to be held back or at a disadvantage. Anyway, but that's a different thing. He's done a ton of new artwork, and you can see there's interlaced through it little bits of fiction that I imagine he's written. He usually at the back of the book, I don't know how complete this is, and if it cites all the people that contributed to it yet. I imagine the final version will say that. Losing hope. So you are given a resource. So in the Forbidden Psalm, you have cards that you can play each scenario. Well, you have cards you can play each scenario, but it's for the whole game. You have 6 cards, and you can play any one of these, and you can see there's a lot more, and they're going to benefit you for the entire length of all the games you would play. And it's going to become a little bit clearer. This is where my ADHD kicks in. And I'm a little bit scattered, and I don't mean to be, but you're going to be playing the game of 2 years. Okay, this is not making me happy. Like Forbidden Psalm, it's on a 2 foot by 2 foot area. Played on a 2 foot by 2 foot play area. It is generally done, and I'm flipping through looking for a specific section where I can describe what you're going to be doing, and it is not here, but I will be flipping through all of this, and you'll get a little bit. Okay, campaign. This is what it is, and this is where I got the 2 years from. Campaign, your goal is simple: survive 2 years. While the virus was not gone, it will be diminished. And while life won't ever be the same, there will be a chance to rebuild. Sounds a lot like a lot of things that have gone on. But we make it through what is to come? Can we make it through the autumn, the horror, and the pain to see the other side? Can your haven make it? What will it lose, and what will it do to make it there? Is there hope for the living, not just the dead? So, you're going to be playing for 2 years. And there are actually not 2 full years. There are 2 game years. And there are 4 seasons, and in each season you will play 2 games and 16 scenarios. The seasons are spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And before the game sets up or plays, in the background you may hear some fireworks going off. This is the weekend of the 4th of July. I have a happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. The spring has some random events, summer, autumn, and these can be things like the food you find is all spoiled, the random rapid dogs are already on the board, random bandits are there. Okay, so you're going to play a total of 16 scenarios to get through the game as it is. He does have an option to add another year to it, and he gives some basic suggestions on it. I don't know. I think if you can last the 16 scenarios, you may want to just sort of start over and move on. So, for those 16 games, you only have 6 hope. And I am hoping, I'm saying that word a lot, aren't I? That the author of this will do a weenie roll for me, or a weenie rule for me, where at some point you'll be able to throw in 25 dead zombies that you've killed, or 50 dead zombies that you've killed, and you can add a point to your hope. But you will never be able to go over 6 or something like that. I don't think it'll happen, but it might. And I have asked him about that, and I think he is just chuckling. Um, After all, it is a game, and you play, and you may win or you may lose. You scavenge in this game, and from those scavenging, you get different resources. The resources are listed a little bit later. I will go over those. And hostiles. There is a AI flowchart for the hostiles. Again, like all the other games, it's a D20 with a DR. You're trying to make it above 12. The 12 can be modified by your abilities or events in the game. Or your hostiles may have something or do something to you that causes that DR to be greater or lesser. Scavenge, I think it's a DR 10. That's usually, yeah, DR 10 presence test. So you would take a D20, roll it against the backpack or something that you see there. See if you're able to quickly pull something out, and you would add your agility score. Let's say it's a +2. So I rolled effectively a 3, and no, I did not get anything. I failed. So actually, I fumbled because I rolled a 1, and I damaged myself. Something in the backpack was sharp, and it did 1 damage. Well, that is the way my life is some days. Basic rules for setting up each scenario. Their AI, I think it's a little bit different. Maybe not. It doesn't really matter. It is a simple, quick AI. If a opponent has different abilities, it'll tell you like roll 2d6, and that's what they move. When playing Hope is for the dead, you will need 20 infected models. If you ever go over 20, you have lost the game. If you get a critical, a roll of 20, that the opponents, they automatically die. They do not make a morale test, and what they're immune to. Rules for infection, spreading the wonderful disease back to your own people. After all, you're bringing them all the wonderful treasures you're getting as you're running out to loot the remains of society. that it's a lot more fun than I'm making it sound. I hope you get that. The different types of zombies: weepers, shamblers, barks. Weepers, shamblers, barks, and then there is a putreficated. This is the stage 3, so this comes before the weepers 2. So 1, 2, 3. There's actually 4 stages there. Then there's a mutated. Then there's a something vitreous ooze. So you have degenerated down to a big pool. I imagine something like the Dungeons and Dragons black ooze. You do fight some mundane critters like bandits and rabid dogs. And different animals that have been infected with the virus. And then you're how to read the scenarios, how to do setup, all 24 inch by 24 inch. You have a deployment zone of 3 inches by 24 on each side for if you're playing co-op, or hostiles will enter on one of the random sides. How I did that, I did a 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's possible for them even to come from behind you. Then you roll for a location, and these are the locations for what your group or haven has heard about the possibility of something. Nearby there's a grocery store. What the type of resources that you'll find there would be food and other resources, and it can be year 1 you'll have infected, and then year 2 there's going to be for sure a vitreous ooze there. Campaign steps, seasons, and something here. You can see there's a lot more that's not included in this. So it is a play test. So in the spring random events, in addition to whatever the grocery store, there's going to be bandits appear on a random board edge at the start of round 3, and I believe it's going to tell you how many rounds there are in each. Generally, he just does 6, but there may be more since this is a little bit different type of game. And like for autumn, it's muddy. All movement is reduced by 1. You get injuries, and you have your haven. Each haven starts with 10 food. You will have 25 survivors. I rolled up the names of all 25 of mine. I just thought that was cool. Now, the name list I know has changed from the original one. It's changed in here. And you upgrade your haven. You can add a tool shed after a scenario, upgrade a melee weapon using resources, or create a single makeshift weapon. Or a gunsmith, after a scenario, apply a single round found upgrade to a weapon or make a makeshift explosive. Weapon upgrades: barbed wire for melee. Oh well. Melee. Nails, carrion, reinforced, making your baseball bat a little bit stronger. Stunning. Range weapon upgrades: scope, stock, magazine size, lucky charm, larger caliber. Resources that you will be finding during the course of the game that you'll be scavenging for: barbed wire, cloth, nails, steel, defib, For the medical stuff, first aid kit, wood, food, resin, and you get the ability to roll twice, and you keep both of them. Weapons that you can make: long arm, a melee weapon with a weapon with reach, silent but deadly ranged weapon, infected rat corpse, stuffed bear, or cloth and resin. Adds silent property, so it gives you the different resources that you need to make it. Trader, and a possibility of playing for year 3. Doesn't this picture just look creepy? That's wonderful. It gives a lot of the vibe to the game, and I don't know, I don't always think like that, but that's good to have. After all, some people are going to get into that zombie game, and this is going to be mild into what compared to what they think. Medical center, example of a scenario that you would be a location you would find. Now he has promised at least 2 more, so there's 8 locations in the playtest, and I think he's promised 2, possibly more locations during the course of the Kickstarter. And you can use whatever terrain. I know that Loke Battle Maps does some different terrain for both modern, sci-fi, and fantasy stuff. Military center, hardware store gives an example of how you should probably set it up. And this is the idea that you're in a warehouse or warehouse type store. And what type of resources you'll find there. The table is 24 by 24 and should resemble that of a hardware store. Across the table center, you should place 2 rows of shelves or box piles that can be scavenged from. Each row should have 5 boxes equally placed from each other. The 2 rows are 5 inches apart and run from player deployment to player deployment. Versus in co-op, how to set up solo play. You can place. Okay, so yeah, he does have a versus where you're playing against another Haven. That would be super challenging because you're going to be solo play. You may place models in either deployment area. Year 1, the type of threats. The hardware store was one of the first places people came when they realized that they were on their own. These unprepared people now haunt the aisles. Place 5 weepers along the center of the table between the 2 rows of boxes. So you have the resources. Year 1, you roll. Year 2, certain things will become a lot more scarce. Play as above. On round 4, spawn 2 bandits on the opposite board edge to the one you deployed on. And then when all crew members are off the table, down or dead, or what? So this can go on until you've generated enough noise and there's 20 zombies. I've come close to it. I've not had the 20 zombie mode. Even though I've been gaming a long time, I don't have a lot of the minis and the scenery I would like to have. So I've been accruing that, and this has been motivation for that. Now this is something interesting. There's 2 different versions of the pub 1, pub 2, and there's a movie where the guys hide out in a pub set in England, sort of a comedy / horror, and this is sort of a cool little takeoff on that, but it's fun. Mall Bandit Camp. I did play on the Bandit Camp, and that was Bandits are pretty challenging. This is your scavenger crew, haven upgrades, names of the people that you have, quick reference sheet, and how to generate noise. The current noise level determines how many infected you spawn. During the noise step of the scenario, check the current level and increase it by the following amounts. So for every 10 models on the table, round them up. Hostiles and crew increase the noise by 1. For each bark model, the type of zombie or infected, increase the noise level by 1. So you're going to be starting with 5. So you already have noise level 5. I have a guy who automatically adds 1 to it. So it's, I forget what flaw he has. And how the noise can be increased. Ammo, keeping track of ammo is important to this game. It is a fun, and I'm recording this a little bit late. I recorded it earlier in the mic wasn't on. I'm just seeing, art is Boris Marcel and Will Rahman. Okay. And he gives his credit to Morkborg, which is a RPG light, grim dark light. And I messed up the page somehow. It is a great little game. I have enjoyed it. I've played it several times. I will be playing it again soon. And it is up on Kickstarter. Remember to give it a look. Really seriously consider subscribing or becoming a Patreon of Will, author of Forbidden Soul, and backing this Kickstarter. This is a fantastic zombie game. You could easily, he says, modify it to. He did it for one of his other games. He did something Tengeku Station, which is a science fiction, which it had different regions. You could modify it to a sci-fi, and he recommends using weapons that are in his other light game, 28 Psalms. So he has some different things you can do with it. I imagine you can even do a fantasy version of this if you were so inclined. But in any case, thank you very much. Thank you, Will, for getting this to me, and hopefully this is something you like and subscribe. There was one piece of art that I wanted to, and it shows all the. I apologize for doing this. This is sort of how I am. And if you watch my videos, you know you're going to get 100% me, and hopefully you can deal with that. Here it is. So it shows the different ideas for different. So you would have the weepers, the barks, shamblers, putrefaction, the putrid people, and then the mutated. And this is the final stage before they become the vitreous ooze. And it's just stunning artwork. He will be doing a couple other games and something different. I think he's doing as a RPG, but follow him on Instagram. the Facebook group Forbidden Psalm, and or his Patreon. With that, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it, and I know I certainly did. And thank you again. Remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment or suggestion. I am new to this whole thing, as it probably shows, but bear with me. And again, I hope you enjoyed.